What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Plain Jane Cars. And this is a Plain Jane Cars podcast. I plan to do a flamer today. And what does that mean, flamer? Before I bring my guest on, a little story time with Charles. Not Plain Jane. This is Charles talking to you. I appreciate every one of you that listen to the show. Especially, there's a lot of different people from different parts of my life that actually tune in. A lot of personal friends, a lot of people that I know from my congregation, people growing up from childhood, family members, people from my professional life, right? Just a lot of different people. So I'm careful about what I say and how I say it. And it's more than because of the listeners, but it's because of who I am as an individual. You know, I really worked hard over the years to try to become the person that I am. But I keep a handkerchief of that old boy from East Baltimore, trust and believe. So the other day on Instagram, I was expressing some of my frustrations, and I planned to put some people on blast, to use an old man term. That's how you can tell I'm 42. We used to say that probably back in the 2000s. I don't know what you would say now. But good thing is over time, over days, a few different people reached out to me. And I'm like, oh, why are you reaching out to me? I guess I was flaming people on Instagram, but I wasn't upset. I was just telling the truth, right? So here, I'll do this part. And shout out to everybody that DM me said, oh, I can't wait for this episode. I'm going to give you a little bit of what you want, but I still have to be me, right? I still have to live up to the person that I am as a Jehovah's Witness, as I am as a husband, as a father, and set the proper example, even though I know it will make for excellent content. I don't want to cross those lines because it's important to me. There are some people that have worked on things for me over the years that have treated me less than fair. And we've all dealt with that, right? Whether you're working on your home, somebody's working on your car, just doing maintenance, and things go wrong. A lot of us expect things to go wrong. It's okay when things go wrong, right? It's just how a person normally responds to the thing that's gone wrong. And I think most of us, the older you get, the more you start to appreciate how people treat you, right, when things do go wrong. I taught my kids that growing up, like, look, it's easy to be well-behaved when you're getting everything you want. People will judge you on how you respond when things aren't going your way, when you aren't getting what you want. Now, that may seem a little weird to make how I've taught my children about how I've been treated in these instances, but it really tells you how I am as a person. I try to be fair all the way around, even giving people multiple opportunities. Now, what happens, the business side of me comes out and says, well, they're a bad business person for me, so I've stopped doing business with them. But I've always tried to stay positive. I'm going to tell a story. It's my personal story. When I first built the M4, when I say built, I decided to do a lot of parts at one time. And this episode's really going to be about the new car that I just bought. But this story time is important because I'm building another car. And I chose to go with a person as a one-stop shop. They were going to do some, not internal engine work, but fix the crank hub on the BMW, which is almost a part that's very integral if you're going to go to higher horsepower. They were putting the larger turbos on the car, intakes, every part that I put on, boost pipes, all these things. And they were doing the aesthetic things to my car. I even trusted this person to pick a body shop to paint and repair and buff some of the damage that had been done from driving the M4 every day back and forth to work. So I was going to transition it to a show car, not an everyday car. I started telling people like, oh yeah, I got with this person, and I'm not going to name the person because they're super popular in Houston. And I thought I had a relationship with them, but I don't now, which is fine. And I had them do everything on the car. But I started telling people, oh yeah, I'm going to have that person do everything to my car. And they said, you're out of your mind. I was like, well, what do you mean? And they started listing all these things that they had done that weren't adequate. And I said, hey, I appreciate it. I understand that's your experience with that person, but I don't have that experience with them. So I'm going to go down that road. I went down the road. They did what I would call adequate work. I was satisfied with the work. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I was satisfied with the work. The point that I bring that up is everybody has a different experience with vendors. I know that professionally too. Like some people, in the project management world, there's some people they're just getting on the outs because of one project that goes wrong, right? And I am very familiar with that professionally. I'm very familiar with that in my personal life. And I try to understand that people make mistakes, you give them room. Like, yeah, they blew it. But again, like I said in the open, you want them to make things right. I bought a set of wheels used for my car, the BMW, year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And I never intended to keep the wheels the way that they were. It was kind of a sweetheart deal, a little bit of a trade and some cash. And they just needed to be rebuilt, 3-piece wheels, beautiful wheels. And I was redoing the cars when I was going to Celestial. I hadn't yet picked Celestial, but I knew I wanted to completely change the look of the car. So new wheels, new wrap, new show season for 2022. So this is all being planned summer 2021. I asked around for quite a few recommendations on people that could not only, powder coat and repair, curved wheels, but people that could actually, build a 3-piece wheel and be trustworthy in that process. And I got a couple different recommendations, and I landed on a person through my conversation with them. This person gave me a good feel. They know what they're doing. Look through some of their Instagram, big following. And they have completely screwed up this deal. The wheels were originally given to them in September of 2021. After a lot of pressure, because I wanted to show the car. I showed the car without the wheels, but the new wrap, which wasn't the plan for the first 2 shows of 2022. And by the 3rd show in April, I said, hey, dude, look, I need the wheels. And they said, well, I can't seal them. And 3-piece wheels need to be sealed, right? You don't have to, but it's kind of a safe thing to do. I said, no worries. Though I paid them for it, I said, I'll take the wheels. I'll have them sealed. I understand you don't have time. I just need the wheels back. No worries. I take them to an extraordinarily trustworthy person, probably a person I should have taken them to in the first place. They seal the wheels, give them back to me, and say, hey, dude, I don't like jumping in the middle of stuff because I didn't rebuild these wheels, but I'll seal them for you because you're Plain Jane. That's how it went. I was like, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to get them on. And shout out to Joe at Tire 59. We put on 8 different tires, trying to get it to fit. This is the Friday before the show. Show is Saturday. And he didn't shut down the shop, but he has like 4 guys. It's like 305s, 295s, 285s, 275s, 275, 35. Like we're moving through, and we finally found something that fit. We did one side, the passenger side. We go to put the driver's side on, and the wheels are backwards. The front barrel is bolted to the back face, and the back barrel is bolted to the front base. The problem with that for non-car folk is that the spacing on the wheel is now rubbing against the caliper or the brake. You just can't use them. So my wheels, which I paid this person up front for, they said, hey, this is a custom job. You have to pay me up front, which we all know we never do. But I did it. I paid them up front in September of 2021. It's April, day before show, after a bunch of consternation, kicked out half as much as I paid them to have the wheels sealed. Understandably. Because I wanted it done. So when you want something done, you pay for it. And they're backwards. I was frustrated in that moment. I said, you know what? It's okay. Mistakes are made. And I told the person that I just wanted them to fix the wheels. And they said, we'll make it right. I said, I appreciate it. I said, I'll even compensate you for your time because I understand, even though mistakes are made, I don't want it to cost you. Like we can work out something fair because I still need the wheels in a timely manner. April of 2022. I still do not have those wheels. In a recent conversation with them on DM, I really want to put them on blast. They said to me, but you said that even your other guy could have made a mistake. 100%. Everybody makes mistakes. Again, it's how do you handle those mistakes when they're made, especially in business. Especially in business. Now I'm going to move on to what I want to be known as positive and entertaining and engaging, and I'm going to bring on the guests because we're going to talk about fun stuff. But what I will say as not so much advice, and this may fall on deaf ears, if you are in business and you want to be successful, your success will not be gauged by how many followers you have on Instagram. Your success will not be measured by how many Lamborghinis you have been able to finance. Your success will not be measured by being accepted by the most popular people in your community. Your success is measured by looking at yourself in the mirror and knowing that you've treated everyone that have given you their trust, their belongings, and their money, treating them fairly. That is success in business. I know that. So don't stand on the fact that other people will come to you, that you'll continue to be able to make money, that you'll continue to be able to finance exotic cars, that you'll continue to have followers, that people that don't know the full story will continue to look up to you, because that is not success. I'm going to leave it at that. Some life advice. And changing gears, bringing in my guest and moving on to more positive things. Tristin, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
It feels like it's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
We did a bunch of recording because we had a lot going on personally. We wanted to travel. Yeah. We wanted to do things. She was finishing up finals for school. Mm-hmm. But we had a little bit of an adventure. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was, how did you feel about our adventure? Now, let me set the table real quick. We bought a car. Mm-hmm. And you guys, I've been hinting at it since I started the podcast, right? Like,
yeah, it's going to be something.
It's going to be something, and it was coming. And I hate to talk about stuff until it happens. It's happened. There's YouTube videos. Most of the people that's listening to this probably already watched the YouTube video. Mm-hmm. If you haven't, go check out the YouTube channel, because our adventure, we did a little bit of a vlog. I'm not the best vlogger, I'll admit that. Not the best podcaster, though, but I'll be trying. But we went and bought a car, 1997 Nissan 240 SX. SE. Mm-hmm. Tell me your version of what that adventure was like.
Well, first of all, we went to a show, Clean Culture, and Knuckle Up was doing the drifting. So it's kind of separate, but this is our third time there. So we went 2021, 2022, and then this was the third time we were there. So we've been faithful since it was like way smaller in Texas.
For sure.
So
shout out Nick, stuff, man. Shout out Nick from Clean Culture, man. I appreciate this.
I really wanted to go. So he let me, I drove the BMW up there. They followed me, make sure I was okay. And they were drifting, and he came to like pick me up afterwards, or just make sure everything was okay with the car. We can get home safe in one piece. Car is going to air up because that's weird. But
yeah, janky BMW, right?
Yeah. So everything was good. But Mike was there from Fat Cats.
Fat Cats, first of all.
Yeah, Fat Cats.
EMG second.
And he was drifting, as well as Zach Triggs with SC.
Yes, sir.
Like.
Shout out Zach. Zach don't even know who I am, but shout out them, because I know who they are.
But yeah, we were there and did some ride-alongs, and my dad got in the car with Mike. And just went for a ride-along, and Mike really sent it because I was there all day. So I saw him doing ride-alongs all day long.
Shout out Mike. Mike does not listen to the podcast or watch my YouTube channel. Shout out. I've given Mike like love. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know who Mike is, I'll put his social, if you're watching YouTube. Yo, go get that man a follow. He's a driver. He's a wheelman, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. But he was drifting. My dad drove along. Basically got out the car, was like, yeah, this is what the car is going to be. The car that we've been foreshadowing. That's going to be. So he's going to get a drift car, and starts the journey of looking on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook 24/7. If you probably look at my screen time, most of it's probably on Facebook. Out of all social media, it's Facebook for sure.
And Facebook Marketplace.
Marketplace, yeah.
Marketplace. Be specific, because Facebook is toxic.
Yeah. But I'm on Marketplace all the time looking for like SCs, recently looking at like 350s, just all types of cars. But I was like, oh, I'll do my thing on Facebook. But he was trying to be bougie and not get a car off of Facebook or OfferUp as well.
Such as plain Jane.
Facebook's better, But yeah, he's like, no, I don't want to get a car for Facebook. I was like, okay, we can go look at eBay.
Is that what my voice sounds like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we go look at eBay, and there's a couple cars on eBay. Mm-hmm. And I actually didn't come across this car, surprisingly enough, as much time as I spent looking for it. I found a couple, but it was kind of like too far, rust. Why would we get a car with rust that we live in Texas?
Even
like
the guys,
only
the Fat
place.
Cats was helping us look like Mike
Yeah.
and even Josh from EMG. They were like, oh, they called a couple people.
Friends of friends.
Jet Davis. Like, yeah, they were like, oh, he had a car. And like,
Yeah.
It
was in the only place you can get rust in Texas.
Nah,
the beach.
Corpus Christi, right?
The
Yeah.
beach. You know,
And
by
I'm
the
pretty
water.
decisive. I think I'm extraordinarily indecisive until I ain't.
Pretty much.
And then I'm like,
Yeah. So he found the car on eBay. I've been
Right.
looking and I found a different car on eBay, but he found the car we have now, which is the white 240, 1997. And he's like, what do you think? I was like, how much is it? He sent me the link. It was $18,500. So I was like, So I go looking through the pictures. The pictures, of course, look really, really good. They're actually
clean.
well taken pictures. They were taken when the car was a bit nicer.
Instagram model.
Clearly, yeah. I was edited and everything. So they looked like really good pictures, solid. But I was like, the guy had went through 2 auctions and it didn't sell. And this was basically his third and final, I guess, try of selling the car before he kept it. So I told my dad, like, go ahead, message him. He said, I don't know how to message you on eBay. I was like, it's like eBay messages.
Like, how do you message on eBay, bro?
Yeah.
I don't be fronting. When I say I'm not, I mean, everybody know I probably talk about it too much. I just look young. I'm not, and I'm not a tech. No, I'm not into the whole. I never got on forums when it was forums time.
I was gonna say, forums was like 20 years ago.
I'm not on none of that. I've never been on any of that. I'm not like a computer person. You can catch me without my phone. Promise you.
Yeah.
So I really rely on my daughter. I was like, how do you? I don't know how to. You can message on eBay. You were like, she said, of course.
Yeah.
And she like
Message
2 seconds.
seller.
She was like, message seller. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I just downloaded the eBay app when we started looking for the car.
Yeah, and I was looking on my laptop. So.
Facts.
But yeah, he found the car, and I told him, like, just message the dude, because the
auction
sale,
ended, right?
It ended, yeah.
Oh, he ended it, I
He
think.
ended it. It wasn't an auction. He just had it set, like a set
That's
price.
right, like
at
a buy it now, type. Yeah, you're right.
But he had done previously 2 auctions on different sites, and then eBay was his last try.
That's right.
And it was set at $18,500, and he was firm, which was
Reasonable.
it was a fair price.
His price is his price.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, the price wasn't terrible per se. So yeah, he messaged the dude. He's in Atlanta, and we live in Houston. That's a 12-hour drive straight. It's like 11 hours 40 minutes, but 12 hours.
Yeah, it's 12 hours.
But we have a truck. Daddy has a truck, so pretty much made the decision kind of then and there. Like, he's like, I think this is it. I had another car in mind that I liked that was in Texas. It was a blue 240, which
It was
sold
up in Dallas. It was clean,
today,
but it was done though.
like 2 weeks ago. It was done.
It was done, which was tempting, right?
It was very good, fresh paint.
Yeah,
it looked very
sharp
nice.
car.
Yeah.
If it looked even half as good as it did in the pictures, right? If you take it with a grain of salt, it was a good car.
It
was worth buying.
It looked really, really good, and it was less.
Yeah.
It was less.
It was less.
I think it was like 16.5 or 17, and it was in like Texas.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Texas or Louisiana.
Oh no, that one was in Louisiana.
It was blue. Yeah, Louisiana.
Wasn't running.
Was way closer. No, not the blue one with the white wheels.
Okay.
There was one.
You talking about the one that's up north? The one in Dallas. Okay, gotcha.
Dallas.
You're right.
But there was a blue one that.
As you can see, we looked at a lot of cars.
Yeah, and it didn't have an engine harness. I was like, why is it 14K? Why is it 14K?
Yeah, that one was like 14, but the harness got cut.
Yeah, harness weirdness.
But S chassis are going to. Sorry, S chassis. Stop. Everything's has gone up, as everybody
SCs
knows.
Are insane now.
But all of those, Radwood cars, right? 80s and 90s cars that people a little bit younger than me, they're coming into their earning years in their 30s now, millennials, true millennials, they buying that stuff up. And they're willing to pay for it. Like a nice example, to use the term, will go for a premium, especially the Nissan 240s.
Yeah.
Which you'll hear us use interchangeably the term S chassis. That's the Nissan term for it. So if we say S chassis, we're referring to a Nissan 240 SX-ish.
Yeah. So basically the decision was kind of like, yeah, I think this is it. That's what he said. He's like, I think this is it. I was like, okay. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, it was a good price. It was a good price. The price wasn't bad.
It was expensive.
It was just expensive just because the cars are expensive, but the price for what it wasn't bad.
No.
Just stuff is expensive.
Y'all will see.
Yeah, stuff
see.
is
If you
expensive.
go look at the YouTube video, right? Go look at the YouTube video. I'll fill a little gap here. I messaged the guy. He is just like me. Yeah. He is not a tech savvy guy and not a texting person. So it was funny. We were going back and forth. And then I said, look, let's just talk on the phone. He's like, even better. So we call and he FaceTimes me immediately while we were in Austin and walks around the entire car, starts it up. You know what I mean? It's dusty. He's been sitting in the shop for a little while. I was like, all right, I'll buy it. He said, huh?
Yeah.
He said, bro, I'm so sick of trying to sell this car. I said, no, I'll be out there. I said, look, I just have to figure my schedule out. But we'll be out there next week sometime. I'll let you know on Monday. And he's like, are you serious? I said, is the car for sale? He said, yes. I said, so I'm going to say this one last time, and I can be this way. I am going to buy it. I will call you on Monday to let you know what day I'm going to come pick it up. Mm-hmm. He said, bet. Yeah. We hung up.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That was it.
And then my grandmother's in town, so we kind of had like an awkward, like, bye, 2 days before she left, but we're going to go pick up the car. Picked up the trailer. The trailer was something else down the line. Yeah, we just started driving.
Yeah.
Pretty much until the trailer kind of fell apart. I almost did.
Watch the vlog, man. We left at 2 a.m.
Yeah. No, we left at 9 p.m.
I'm sorry.
2 a.m.
I'm thinking 2 a.m. is when I found the trailer was.
Yeah, that's when the trailer was.
Anyway, yeah, we left at 9 at night, and my goal was to like give us a little breathing room to be there midday, right? Late morning, midday
10,
at the latest, right? Because
11.
I'm figuring fuel stops.
Food.
It's gonna take us a little over 12 hours, which it did. It took around 13 because we had an issue with the trailer. I had about a 45-hour delay there, so it took us like 13 and a half going, a little over that. But we got there around,
I think it was 11.
11 something?
Yeah, I think it was like 11.
It really wasn't bad for leaving at 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pull up and car sitting there running.
Mm-hmm. He just had it running too. Like it was running very, very well. Cause he turned around, he's like, oh, I didn't know it was gonna start. Because it had been sitting. It had
been sitting.
He's like, look, it's good though.
The battery might be dead, but let's see. And he started up and it ran fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at Tristin, and I know my daughter, your fan, her body language was horrible.
I didn't know.
I was like, bro, what's up?
First of all, we had just been driving for 13 hours. And I looked at his car, and he said he was gonna wash it, but he didn't even wash it.
And it's been sitting in a shop.
And he owns like a shop, so like he's working dustiness and this in Atlanta. I don't know what goes on in Atlanta, but it's dirty.
It was a dusty shop.
Polluted. Yeah, all that nasty stuff. So the car wasn't washed. It was musty inside, and there was dents all over. Eventually, on the video you'll see.
The more we found over time,
more and more dents.
So 1997.
Yeah, but there was just one particular dent that really bothered me that I guess you can't see, but I guess if you back up far enough, it's like on the rear quarter panel. It's just a huge dent like underneath.
For the car guys, the
what
trunk
is this?
The trunk pinch well. It looks like somebody tried to jack the car up by it.
What in the world? Why
it's
would
not
you
like
try
a
to
jacking
jack
point.
I'm
not saying that's what it is. That's what it just looks like.
Really bad. I'm like, it just looks like, it just crazy.
She was so mad,
I was upset.
bro.
That's what like kind of triggered me a little bit because I was like,
she was
why are you about to pay
why didn't they show this in the pictures? I was like, it's not a big deal.
The pictures are clearly when he first got the car, and it didn't seem like he drove it after he bought it, really.
No.
I think he just put it in the shop, was like, oh, I like this car, and kind of collected it, essentially.
And that's what he had, collects cars.
Yeah, he collects cars.
Sits on cars. Yep. Good investment for him, probably.
Yeah, so we checked out the car. Everything was like, okay, it ran really well. That was really the surprising part. It just ran very well. It had Rev 9 coilovers. It had all the different stuff. It had a Mishimoto radiator. Koyorad. Sorry, not Mishimoto, but Mishimoto's great too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Koyorad. It was okay. Everything was good. Interior was good. No cracked dash. No normal S chassis stuff. So he's like, all right, everything's good. Cool. We wanted to raise the coils, but to get it on the trailer, but we didn't need to. Essentially, that was the one.
Yeah, because it's slam. Whoever put them,
it's maxed out.
It was owned by a 19-year-old. Because there's no way.
Yeah, it's maxed out.
Old people like me getting out of that.
Yeah, it's maxed out. But we went to the bank. The bank was an experience. I sat in the truck.
Experience.
He went to go get the money.
I'll tell you, funny story.
All the cash.
Yeah,
in a paper bag.
So I said to the dude, I was like, "Man, you good with a cashier's check?" He's like, "Cash."
Cash, yeah.
And he had his reasons. It was really funny. It's funny buying and selling cars. People always, there's the tax game, right? And I'm not going to go deep into that. But hey, I pay my taxes. And there's a lot of reasons why.
Pay him some way.
But I got to answer to somebody more than Uncle Sam. So I make sure I'm, square on my taxes. But other people, you do what you want to do. So he wanted cash. Hey, bro, I'm going to pay taxes when I, license it. And when I did, when I registered, the lady said, what kind of Nissan is this? This special? I said, just take my credit card. She started laughing. I said, I paid too much, right? She said, I don't know. She said, it must be a nice car. Going into the bank, interesting experience. The ladies in there were super cool. They're like, so we got a problem.
We're in Atlanta, by the way.
In Atlanta, but a nice part of Atlanta.
Nice, but still Atlanta.
It wasn't sketch.
No, it's still Atlanta, though.
She like, we only have 20s.
That's too much. 20.
If you haven't looked at me, if you haven't seen my video, go look at what I look like. Because the ladies in the bank look like me.
Yeah.
And we talk to each other a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
I'm not doing
I said, you're not about to do that to me. They laughed so hard. I was like, y'all ain't about to send me out of here. She was, she's Irish. They went in the back, looked out. She said, we found something. But it was like their last, I think they had 10 grand in hundreds, but the rest was in 20. It looked crazy.
Yeah.
So while they're counting it, I'm at this point, I'm like, you ain't got to count it. You ain't got to count it. Well, it was just.
Started to get busy.
It's right around lunchtime. People coming in. And some people came in that just raised my antenna. I'll put it that way. While the money machine is going. Can you picture this? And you got a lot of nervous people. And they just stacking money and I'm like, get me out of this place.
Mind you, I'm in the car, so I don't know.
So I bolt to the car and I'm like,
saw him run.
Let's
He's like,
go.
I got a football.
We get back to the shop and we load the car up.
Pretty much. It was pretty simple too.
And I look at her and I'm like, what's that place you were talking about that's in Atlanta?
Koru.
She said Koru Works. I said, should we really go? I'm tired. We need to get on the road. It took us a little bit longer than what we expected to pick the car up. And she was like, I mean, we're here.
We ain't gonna come back.
So we drove to Koru Works, which was maybe 30, 40 minutes away.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes. It was bad. It's in Marietta.
You met Adam and Ryan and I'm not drawing a blank on the fabricator's name. I'm sorry. They don't listen to this anyway, though. But super cool.
We were around the shop. They got cool cores.
We spent some money with us. Gave a shop tour. We bought the body kit.
Yeah.
The Urus Type 2. And the funny thing, I felt like, Tristan's going to build her SC. And I've built a couple cars. So I was like, hey, what do you think? Because she actually wanted a different kit.
That's not the case. He said, you get the body kit and walked out.
I did.
Let's be honest.
I did.
Not know, what do you think? He's
like, I said, you decide. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't, because they had two options. I said, either pick one of those or we don't get anything.
Yeah. That was pretty much it.
And she stood there. You should have seen her body language looked like the same way when she saw the dent.
I was so irritated.
She's like,
I was like, you about to make me spend $2,000 after you just spent 18? It just sounded crazy to me. I was like, that's a really big decision to make. Yeah, that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing the whole time. I was like, no.
Go figure it out.
I picked one.
And it's a dope looking body kit. We load up the body kit, strap everything down, and hop on the road. So if you're doing math, it's about 3 maybe?
Yeah, 2:30, 3 o'clock.
2
like
2
I
3
think we
o'clock.
left there around like 2:30.
So we left at 9 p.m. I had been up since 4:30 the previous morning, like normal wake up time, 5 o'clock. I wake up pretty early, 5 o'clock. So 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. I'm still driving. We're coming through Mississippi.
Yep.
It's now fast forward to our second gas stop, 5 p.m. I think that's when we stopped at Chick-fil-A, right? Somewhere around that, maybe 4:35.
4, yeah.
So it's 36 hours. And we still have about 10 hours left to drive.
Pretty much.
And we cannonball.
Yeah.
Tristan woke up when we were coming through Baytown and she said to me, Daddy, I don't know how you're doing this.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad too because I was like, well, I can't help drive. There's a trailer in there. I don't know how to drive with a trailer. I don't know.
All parents will understand. She didn't need to help keep me awake. Having my baby in a car with me, you go into parent mode.
Yeah.
You go into parent mode. You like, nah, there ain't nothing going to happen. Ain't nothing going to happen. I'm good. And I was fine. I didn't, the excitement of buying a car, the excitement of getting a body kit, the excitement of hanging out.
We got out the gas station.
Good habits to do.
Everything was good.
Make sure you check your straps.
There's a car in there.
Yeah. Check your straps. If you're towing and you're not familiar with towing, make sure your stuff moves. So I try to have good habits around that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. We got home at 3-ish.
Yeah, that sounds right. 2 or 3.
It took us a little bit less driving home because we didn't have any issues with the trail. It took us like almost a straight 12 and a half, maybe. I mean, it was an hour shorter for sure. So get home, unload the body kit, left the car on the trailer because I was wiped. Yeah. I had meetings at 7 a.m. Yep, didn't make those meetings.
Yeah.
But I did reschedule them for that afternoon, and got the car off. We pulled it off that afternoon, and super cool.
Yeah.
It's like we made it.
Yeah.
And since then,
bought lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
More stuff I was forced to. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, she's been building a car, man. She's
fun.
as we've looked at stuff, we realized, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, and
Things are making noises.
Yeah, all right. Go check out
no AC.
the YouTube video if you could. There's 2 videos on the car, and it'll wind up being kind of sort of a build series. We picked out. I'm gonna wrap it. I wrap cars. I think the first iteration of the car will be wrapped. I don't know what direction I want to go with the car. I bought it to drift. It has to drift. It's going to have to be a drift car, but I do like making cars look nice. I do have that part of me. So I think it has to have potential to be in the show. Not like an indoor show, but like when you pull up at a car meet and they're like, oh, no, come pull it up to the front. I want it to look nice, but not going to go overboard. But we have ordered a lot of stuff.
Lots of maintenance kind of stuff too.
Sure.
Stuff, necessities to even like drift or drive.
To
register, get it inspected.
And it's registered now, it's inspected, there's tags, it's insured. It's all the normal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Because we gotta.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of aesthetics too. There's some aesthetic stuff that's coming for the car, and I want to do that. We're going to work with EVS. Hopefully you just enjoyed that previous podcast with Russell and Ted. As promised, we are going to rewrap the BMW. But when we recorded that episode, we had not yet even landed on a 240. That's how far in advance we record this stuff. So this is probably the most closely recorded to posting video that I've done, a podcast I've done in a long time.
Well, May was busy. That's why.
May was busy. So, Ted, Sean, those guys, they're going to wrap the car and put the body kit on, and we got some dents and dings and stuff like that. We're changing the tail lights. We're putting seats in it. Against Tristan's advice and everybody else, I'm going full carbon buckets just because that's what I do.
Uncomfortable.
They're gonna be
did
uncomfortable.
It once in the BMW. I'm like, we're actually gonna have to like sit,
Did it
drive, drift. I'm like, this is
Did it again.
awful.
Because they're going to look
And he doesn't
so
drive his
good.
car because how uncomfortable the seats are.
I'll let
other things.
somebody else can
seats.
drift it. As long as I can put it in the shell.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that own cars that have drivers.
That's true.
Like,
Was it the turkey leg hut? They always have people driving their cars.
there you
everywhere.
go. I might just need somebody a little skinnier than me to drift it. But anyway, hopefully the opening of this show is not too heavy for everybody. But I got that side of me too, like everybody. And I will hope that everybody understands that was as restrained as I can be.
Frustrating. Huh?
Talking about something that frustrating, right? And try not to include. There was going to be some collateral damage. There's a few people that could have caught some strays, but hopefully I got my point across. If you are in business, all of us are in business. We all have jobs, we all working for ourselves or we're working for someone else. We have relationships, with whether it's romantic, familial. You can apply that same stuff that I said in the opening about my frustrations to those relationships, like how you treat people. Be fair. Give them what they deserve, right? Give them what essentially what they paid for, whether it's in emotional capital, whether it's in actual money, sweat equity, and time. Be fair with people, and it's the right thing to do, even if you don't gain from it. It's the right thing to do. We're going to end the show on that note. Yeah. Lots more to talk about the 240. We're going to try to keep that to just YouTube though. Updates every now and then. Maybe the next one you'll hear about is me drifting.
Lots of FD stuff.
Lots of FD stuff. We'll have to talk about that. We might even do back-to-back episodes with my trusty co-host here, Tristin, because I do want to talk about FD. There's been a lot happening since we actually talked about FD. And I want to talk about some of the stuff that, now that YouTube figured out that I like drifting, I'm interested. All of the like drifters that are creators, like the Jimmy Oates and Drift Games and Texas Drift. Oh my god, that whole world is huge.
Yeah,
Charles didn't know.
Going on. Not just
A
Adam.
lot going on. No, not just Adam. And I like Adam
making a lot of
too.
videos too recently.
Chelsea's making an effort.
I think Vaughn's been making him do it because he's not consistent.
They all went to Koru Works after me. Actually, no, Larry Chin was before me.
He was before, yeah.
But Chelsea and what's the name? Somebody else went. It was after. I was like, oh, no way. It's so cool that I got to go there. I didn't really know who those guys were.
Yeah, he was like, I don't even know who we are. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And they were not.
Are you kidding me?
They were just chill. They were
really
like,
cool.
Like, oh, yeah, we work on a few FD drivers' cars.
Pro-Am trophies like at the front door.
Means zero to me. So anyway. This was an awesome episode. We appreciate everybody for listening. I say that every episode because I mean it. I do appreciate everybody listening. And we do have some fun guests planned for the next couple of weeks. But I do think I want to come back and do a quick one. We'll talk a little bit about FD. I love those kind of conversations and kind of some of the stuff that I'm looking forward to about learning how to drift myself. Because I do mentally prepare myself before I do anything. So I've been trying to envision this whole, how do I learn how to drift and be proficient at it over a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
You're ahead of the curve already. You know how to drive a manual. I don't.
That's easier than you think. Anyway, few programming notes. Go to YouTube, Plain Jane Cars. Everybody listening probably already does. But check out some of the videos that we have posted. We have some interesting stuff, even some of the historical stuff. And hopefully you'll see the wrap for the 240 come up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to drop that off probably mid-June.
Yeah. Video of broken stuff?
Yeah, a lot of broken stuff too.
Yeah.
And, I'm losing my, last programming note is we may be changing up the time that we distribute the actual podcast. We were shooting for Wednesdays at 8 a.m. We may push it back to Thursday for this episode and going forward. Maybe a little bit easier for a turnaround for editors and all that kind of good stuff. But we appreciate you guys watching. Please, if you can, if you're listening to it on Apple, 5 stars. Leave a little, engage with it. And then share it with people. This might be interesting stuff that other family members want to listen to. But share it anyway, because even if they don't listen, you've engaged with it. It helps the algorithm.
Yeah. So on Spotify too now.
So on Spotify. It's on all platforms now, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Spotify and Apple. Those two are the biggest ones, it seems.
Yeah.
Anyway, we appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to see you guys in the next episode. Peace.